It starts as a game, a gathering of friends. And slowly, as some begin to sit back, others stand out. The joy of playing turns to passion. And as the skills develop, so do the minds. And they begin to seek challenges, peers, and mentors to further their abilities and opportunities. The love and passion becomes a thirst for people in a place
we make history today in Pittsburgh
that will embrace and push a hunger for excellence
Blitz, the ACC.
and to be in and among champions. These are the dreamers, scholars, leaders. These are the guides, teachers, mentors. And this is the opportunity, the challenge, the place. This is Pitt Beyond the Script.
Let's do it, let's go! Let's go! Don't take it for granted! And now, we gotta improve every day, get 3% better as a football team, right?
Hello and welcome to Pitt Beyond the Script alongside head coach Pat Narduzzi. I'm Casey Garrow. Coach, this has to be one of the most unique camps you've ever had in your career.
This will go down as the most unique, and if I coach another 40 years, there will be nothing that will match this. It's been a challenge for our entire staff, for our training department, doctors, everybody involved, and they've done a heck of a job. My hat goes off to them and all the work they've put in to get to this point, to get to game day, to get to game week. It has not been easy. It's been ups and downs. I kind of said, hey, there's going to be a bad day and a good day, and that's kind of how it's gone through this, this really summer of 2020.
I think adapt is probably the word. What's your key word, and what do you tell your team? Because it can change on any given day, and it has all camp.
Yeah, I use the football term. It's sudden change, because anything can change it, and again, you think the offense is moving the ball down the field, all of a sudden, bang, turnover happens. Well, how are we going to react to it? And that's kind of the philosophy we've taken into it, is it's a sudden change type year in 2020, and we've got to be able to adapt, as you said, and earn that right to play in September.
Coach, I want to focus a little bit on camp quick before we move into Austin Peay. Captains were named last week. For those who saw the video, it was quite a special moment for those four players: Jimmy Morrissey, Patrick Jones, Kenny Pickett, and of course, Damar Hamlin. Even the moment where they called their parents. I mean, it was quite a day.
Hey, honey.
Hey, Mom. How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Dad. What's up? What you doing?
Hey, Mom. What you doing? I got voted captain again.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you.
Look at this.
Hey!
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Proud of you. Congratulations, man.
Appreciate it, Dad.
Yeah, it was. It was a great day. Usually I tell them in the morning, and then we have it at the luncheon. Obviously, 2020, we've got no luncheon to announce it there, so I thought we had to do something a little bit different, a little bit more special for those guys to make the announcement, and it was great, calling their moms or their dads in my office to make it special. And I announced it after the scrimmage, so there was no, thoughts of what's gonna, who are the captains. I just made it after the scrimmage, in the indoor, and then we kind of moved right into my office.
Talking about that defense, it's a very highly touted group coming back. Everyone's talking about them. What are your expectations? I've heard the word mentioned, or a phrase actually mentioned, all camp, unfinished business. What does that mean to you and your players?
Yeah, I think the defensive, seniors came up with that. Like, we were good last year, but we want to be better. We still have unfinished business to go with. So I think it's a great attitude that Coach Bates has got them thinking about every day. We can always reach higher. And I think that's what the defense is looking to do. Expectations-wise, Casey, we want to be the best we can be. But, I hate to say the expectations are here, and then anything less, they failed, okay? This is 2020. It's a different year. We got different players. We got different fronts and coverages and blitzes, and I think you got to take it day by day. I hate to say preseason, this is where they are, and they got to be there, because they might not be there game one, game two. It may take a while. So, to me, we need to go out and play the best football we can.
Looking ahead, you have full access to your roster. That's different than years past. I know you mentioned in your press conference you're going to use the best players in the best positions, but it is interesting. You don't have to redshirt or think about that redshirt this year.
Right. It is, and I really don't look at it any different than any other year, to be honest with you. That year or not, we're looking to win football games. We're going to try to play the best players we can. whether it be offense, defense, or special teams. I think special teams comes up to where it's 4 games. Now it can be 6 or 8 or 10 or 11. So, I think that's the difference is we can get them going earlier. The great thing about this freshman class is they're early. Okay, they've got it figured out. It's been important to them, and it just seems like a little bit different class as far as special teams goes. They have a lot more interest than most freshmen have.
You mentioned, we talked about the defense, but Devin Danielson in that starting role right now for Twyman, but you have a lot of options. Talk about the depth in that position.
Yeah, there's a ton of depth in there. We're going to find out who becomes electric and who becomes like, Jalen Twyman, because he was a special player and he'll be hard to replace, as you know. But Tyler Bentley, Kalijah Cansey, David Green, those are all names that come, like that. And you might even see Desmond Alexander in there as well, which I think, he could be really good. But Keyshawn Camp's had a good camp. He's athletic. He's the guy that can provide a pass rush like Jalen did.
Again, it's a lot of talent on this defense. I think we've talked a lot about the secondary, a lot about the D-line this camp. Not enough about the linebackers, in my opinion. Who do you expect to step up in that role? I know we have Cam Bright, Phil Campbell, the returners, but what do you expect?
Well, the one you haven't mentioned is Wendell Davis, who Wendell is I guess a redshirt sophomore. He's been around for a couple years, and he has been steady as you could be as far as a linebacker goes. He's physical, he's strong, plays with great leverage. He's a good blitzer, so it's going to be fun to watch how he progresses this year, getting his first start. This will be his first start in the middle, so we'll find out what happens when the lights get turned on in Heinz Field, as I always say. And, I'm happy to watch him. The other guy to keep an eye on is Savasier Dennis. Again, a very electric guy, can play either side to the field or to the boundary. He's had a great camp so far.
Moving to the offense, obviously Kenny Pickett leading the way, a senior quarterback. You have Jimmy Morrissey in there too. A lot of weapons though, and Lucas Kroll, DJ Turner, and then you mentioned Jordan Addison, some of those younger guys. What are you looking toward?
Yeah, we're looking for guys to make plays, and Coach Whipple's going to try to get the ball to the guys that are making plays, and whether it's Lucas, it's Jordan, it's Tayseer Mack and Jared Wayne, DJ Turner you mentioned. He's a guy that's been here for a week and has really fit in well. He knows all Coach Beatty's drills from the old days, and we're looking forward to seeing what those guys all can do together as a package.
A lot of conferences opting out, players opting out. This team has really stuck together. Does it change game week in any way for you? I mean, testing 3 times a week, for one thing.
Yeah, this team has been incredible. You think about all the ups and downs, and I think, like I said, the coaching staff has kept them all together as a team. When they're looking at you, with big eyes like, what's next, coach? What are we going to do now? I think we've stood tall and stood the tests. This season's going to be interesting, and I'm looking forward to watching our kids play.
Well, we'll be back with more on camp, and we'll look toward Austin Peay on Pitt Beyond the Script.
Let's get it. We back. We're here to make a statement. Pitt football, HTP.
We gotta be smart. We have to have poise. What? 1, 2, 3, what?
I registered to vote because I feel like I have an obligation due to all the pain and struggle that my ancestors went through just to be able to have the right to vote in this country.
I registered to vote because as a student athlete, it's important for me to give back to the Pitt community.
I registered to vote because sitting at home the past 3-4 months, there's been a lot of strife, and we need a leader that's going to be in office to sow peace and unity amongst the American people.
I registered to vote after educating myself on the importance of voting and made sure to get involved immediately.
I registered to vote. Did you?
Did you?
Did you? Did you?
I think our attitude's been awesome, okay? I think with all the crap going on, you guys walking out here every day with a great attitude.
Hell to Pitt, baby, tune in, hell to Pitt.
I'm happy where we are at today. We'll keep pounding away and continue to get better.
Welcome back to Pitt Beyond the Script. I'm Rob King with AT&T Sportsnet. Very happy to be joined by Pat Bostic to break down some things going on with the Panthers and to look forward to their first game against Austin Peay. Pat, coming off of this camp, you went through many camps as a player, but never one like this. Is it time for these guys to get going? What's this process been like leading up to this first game?
It's been like nothing they've ever experienced, I can tell you that. I mean, obviously the testing protocol, everything they do throughout the facility was different. You just have to be mindful, obviously, of the pandemic and being smart, maintaining social distance, wearing the masks, and then do the normal things differently. Shower, rest between practice and meetings, eat, all those things were taken into account. I give the staff a lot of credit, a lot of thought by Chris LaSala and John Ford, who handle operations, into how they were going to manage 110 guys plus 30 staff members, for 8-9 hours a day throughout the camp. And then, you at some point during camp, you're always looking ahead to that first game. For a while there, you didn't know what that was going to look like. When are you going to play? Are you going to play September 12th? Or are you going to play September 19th? Or are you going to play at all? And having that carrot at the end of the stick is critical to get through those dog days of training camp. And finally we're in game week and you have something to look forward to. Obviously there's hurdles this week to get through. 3 times a week you're getting tested. So you got to clear those hurdles, but once Saturday comes, these guys are going to have a lot of pent-up energy.
We've seen players throughout the country opting out. Jalen Twyman did that for Pitt. Defensive line was supposed to be a strength. Will it still be a strength without Jalen Twyman?
It's a strength. Charlie Partridge has done a great job recruiting that position. Pat Narduzzi's defense is built around that defensive line, and they've got depth there. They've got 2 or 3 guys at every spot. Obviously, you lose an All-American like Jalen Twyman. You're going to miss that production, but you return guys like Rashad Weaver and Keyshawn Camp. That's a 2-for-1, that you didn't expect to have. You could have lost all 3 of them to the draft last year if they were all healthy. You're always going to have to replace production. Obviously, Jalen made a decision for his family and for himself to forego this season and look towards the NFL. I'm happy for him. That's the right decision for him. But these guys behind him are now having their opportunity, like a Deslin Alexander did last year, to step up, and I expect they will. There's plenty of guys that can fill that void.
One of the strengths on the Panthers defense, in addition to that defensive line in the back end, you have Paris Ford, you have DeMar Hamlin. How about in between? The corners, the linebackers, how's the rest of that defense going to shape up?
Yeah, you got veterans, Rob, at safety and on the defensive line. You lack a little bit of veteran presence at corner. You got Jason Pinnock. Obviously, you lost Amari Mathis to injury, but Marquez Williams, AJ Woods are ready to go. They're young guys that are having their chance now to be in that starting 11. And at linebacker, you got 2 guys that played a lot of football that I think people forget about in Cam Bright and Phil Campbell, that are, one's a converted safety in Campbell that can play to the field. He can blitz very well. Cam Bright played a lot of football last year opposite Kylan Johnson and is a fast, physical, explosive player. The guy in the middle is really what you're replacing the most experience with. When you look at 2 guys really on defense have the most experience in Dane Jackson and Salim Brightwell. You're replacing Dane Jackson kind of by committee. You got to have one guy man in the middle of that defense. He's the quarterback of the defense, and they're going to turn to Wendell Davis, who won that position in camp, and he's had a terrific training camp, been healthy, and has done a good job getting guys lined up and ready to go.
Few question that the Panthers defense will be a strength. Kenny Pickett now in his 2nd year with Mark Whipple. What do you expect to see from him? What did you see from him in camp? Can this offense, which marched up and down the field but had trouble sometimes scoring points, put more points on the board?
They have to. I mean, I think this season's trajectory hinges on this offense's ability to light that scoreboard up. They're going to have opportunities. That defense is going to get them the ball back. I think 2 things are critical. One, got to be able to run the football more effectively. They got a veteran offensive line, really spearheaded by Jimmy Morrissey up front. They got plenty of tailback options beyond A.J. Davis and Vincent Davis. You got Sibley, Daniel Carter, obviously Vince Davis. Plenty of guys in that backfield that can shore up the run game to give them balance. And then I think another part of that run game is Kenny Pickett. I mean, in games where he's run the football, you look back to North Carolina last year, he had a rushing touchdown. Those are games where that really frees him up. Some of his best statistical days are where he's a part of the run game. So I think that's critical. And obviously having a tight end in the red zone is something that can change the whole preparation scheme for a defense, because the middle of the field becomes a real threat now. It's not just one-on-one on the outside. And I really believe, Lucas Kroll, graduate transfer from Florida. They're going to lean on him to be kind of an X factor, not only inside, but what you see with the Travis Kelce, in the NFL, lining him up by himself, a Gronkowski. You hate to make comparisons, but when you start to do those things, you start to get matchups elsewhere on the field that can be problematic for a defense and add layers to what you're preparing for in this Pitt offense.
You and I talked off camera earlier in the week about, look, it's nice to have the coaching staff provide leadership, but you have to have it within the room. What do you think about the leadership on this team and the group of captains?
When you combine the senior group with the ability they've had to have 4 years in Pat Narduzzi's program, and you look back to 2016 and James Conner and Nathan Peterman, and those guys were as good as it gets, but they were only with Pat Narduzzi for one season prior to that. This group knows the culture. They set the culture. I think this is the best senior group they've had. And when you look at the captains, and Morrissey's a two-time captain, former walk-on. Kenny Pickett earned his role as a starting quarterback 2 years ago, waited his turn to be a captain. He's proved it on the field. Damar Hamlin, quiet, confident, played a lot of football. And then obviously Patrick Jones was really the breakout player last year. They set the tone, but really beyond that, you've got a bunch of seniors like Rashad Weaver and Keyshawn Camp that they want to leave their mark on this program. They want to turn the corner. They're going to have that chance, and the only way you turn the corner and get those 9-10 win seasons is if your senior leaders are the ones driving the ship.
How about a quick look at Austin Peay?
You know what? They're talented. They're explosive. They're looking for an opportunity to come up here and make a mark. They're playing 3 games guaranteed on their schedule this year. Obviously, they open up with Central Arkansas. They play Pitt, and they play Cincinnati. Then I believe FCS goes to the spring. So they're going to play a game on television against a team they're not supposed to beat. They're going to throw everything but the kitchen sink on this field. They opened up against Central Arkansas with a triple option play for a touchdown. I expect to see more wrinkles in this game. They got a veteran quarterback in Oatsvall. They got an All-American receiver in D'Angelo Wilson, who didn't play in the opener, who will definitely make a difference in this football game should he be healthy. And on defense, I expect him to see him coming after Kenny Pickett and trying to disrupt things, because physically, Pitt should be able to handle them on both sides of the ball. But when you throw that unexpected nature of an opening game with a team that's got nothing to lose, sometimes weird things happen.
It's a game week. Pat, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Rob.
All right, stick around. Up next, we sit down with the outstanding senior safety, Damar Hamlin. That's up next on Pitt Beyond the Script.
ACC Caps on 3, 1, 2, 3, ACC Caps!
Camp has been great. We've been taking it day by day, just trying to get better on small things as far as details and the fundamentals of playing football. Everything is an adjustment as far as the virus and everything, so it's been a new experience. It's something that I've never dealt with, nothing that anyone has ever dealt with. So people around here care about this place and care about everyone's safety, so I definitely feel safer here than most other places. The whole defense, man, it looks great. We're striving to be the best in America. Of course, there's always room for improvements, but it looks well, man. I'm excited to see Pat and Rashad Weaver out there together. Just watching them in front of me and just seeing how relentless they play, it's just like, I just hope they leave some plays for me.
You see that right there?
Nah, we rocking, man. Ain't too much talking, man. We rocking like cut off Scott.
Having another year with Paris, it's really just like an infinity amount of chemistry, We can communicate without even really having to say much. I know where he's going to be. Even when I don't see him, our relationship off the field just helps us on the field that much more. Coach Whip is full of years of knowledge, just coming down from the NFL, and he always just feeds us a quick tip, a quick anything. So, but that on the field, I don't want to give out any secrets or anything, but Coach Whip, he's whipping something up. That's all I'm gonna say. I really don't have any personal goals, I came back to win for my team, I really didn't come back for personal accolades or anything like that. I just feel like if we do well as a team, it'll take me where I need to be.
We gotta be smart. We have to have poise. What? 1, 2, 3, what?
I registered to vote because it is my right in the United States to have my voice be heard.
I registered to vote because it's a starting point for making a difference within my community and on a larger scale.
I registered to vote because I feel like I have an obligation due to all the pain and struggle that my ancestors went through just to be able to have the right to vote in this country.
I registered to vote after educating myself on the importance of voting and made sure to get involved immediately.
I registered to vote because every vote counts, and it's important that my team is active in our local government.
My teammates and I are all registered to vote. The women before us have fought hard for this right, and we understand the importance of voting today.
I vote because it's important to me, it's important to my family, and as an American citizen, I feel I have the opportunity that many others around the world don't have.
Voting matters to me because so many people have fought for this right, and as a result, we should all vote to have an impact in our government and our everyday lives.
Voting matters to me because I'm very passionate about using my platform to encourage my friends and family to get involved and to spread awareness about the social justice issues in our country that are more prevalent now than ever.
Voting isn't just important in this day and age, but it is very necessary, and I believe that is your obligation to get out to the voter booths and choose the right candidate for this upcoming election.
When we choose to vote, we are saying that this is the person we want to represent us. And as Americans, we have the privilege to vote, which gives us the opportunity to choose somebody who is going to represent everybody.
I believe that voting is important. I believe that leadership is important. I believe that my vote can help put somebody in charge who empowers the voices of many who have been silenced for way too long.
I registered to vote. Did you?
Did you?
Did you? Did you?
Here we go. You ready to go, Royal? It's a winter day in Florida. You got to be fired up. I want people to think your name's Takeaway. Get that ball back. Get that thing back. Bring it right to me. You going to score and throw it in my face today or not? Yeah. Okay, I expect it. Get a little swag going, because if not, I'm going to talk crap back to you. Let's go. Lead this group. Let's be physical today. Lower. Hips. There you go. Yeah, finish off of it. Now, another step. There you go. Better, Chase. Better. Freshman! Boom, good, Will. Now, hey, shoot the head to the armpit on the far side. Then you'll stop the momentum. Okay, all those squats for nothing if you don't use your hips. Hey, lift. There you go. Good. Inside. There you go. That's a nice job. Hey. That's perfect. That's what you wanted to get on that other. Let's go! Get the ball out! Get the ball out! Okay, I'm playing chess. We'll see if it works, Harley. Yeah!
Let's just keep getting better, keep stacking one practice after another.
Welcome back to Pitt Beyond the Script. Coach, you had a couple spring practices, barely that, then you come into a condensed camp. How is your team looking health-wise? Luckily, not too many injuries coming out of camp.
Yeah, I mean, so far we've been healthy. We got to stay that way, going into game week here. But we've been lucky. The 3 practices that we did have in spring ball were, advantageous to us. Really the thing that helped us, Casey, was when the NCAA gave us that summer access where we had 14 days to get in 12 practices and just got to walk through offensively and defensively. We spent so many minutes and hours and days on the Zoom calls teaching our kids different schemes and trying to get as deep as we could over Zoom, but to be able to get them on the field after all the mental preparation on the computer, I think really helped our kids, maybe take that next step.
A couple weeks ago, we thought it was Miami of Ohio. Then we weren't sure who you were playing. Now it's Austin Peay. How did that change preparations for you? It had to have been difficult.
Well, we spent a lot of time on Miami of Ohio. I mean, back when we first, this pandemic started, that was the first team we worked on. We probably spent a week and a half on the opener because we knew we had more time. To be not playing that is really wild. But then you're finding out really 2 weeks ago that you're playing Austin Peay. So now we've got to get their tape, We got to try to break them down and find out who they are personnel-wise, who they are schematically on all three phases of the ball. So it's not easy. And again, like I said, our staff's done a great job of just adjusting to the sudden change.
You mentioned, they have great weapons on offense. They have a quarterback, Jeremiah Oatsvall, a veteran quarterback coming off an injury, and then running back Ryan Sneed, a great talent formerly from Ohio State now with that program. I mean, how is your defense preparing?
Well, like we do anything, whether we're playing, the Buckeyes, we're playing Michigan, we're playing Clemson, we're going to prepare the same. They got good players. We expect and we respect our opponents every week. And again, you kind of don't know who they are. I mean, our kids know when they play Clemson what they're going to get. They know when they play Duke what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get with Austin Peay, but I believe this. They got a tough football team. They play hard. They play a great effort, kind of like a Pitt football team. And and anything can happen. So our guys got to be ready to go. And they got a ton of talent. Receiver spot, the quarterback spot, obviously. And again, they got a backfield like we do that you don't know who's going to play or who's going to be in there next.
Coach, I'm sure this team and your coaching staff is more than ready for Saturday. Just talk about how it's going to be a little bit different. No fans this year, but I know the team is hyped up.
The team is hyped up. It was a different hype last night in our team meeting out here in the indoor facility. The kids, kind of got cranked up at the end, just knowing that it's, I kind of put up and said, "Hey, Austin Peay's on the clock. Let's go. It's ready to prepare." And there was a buzz. It wasn't like normal. Okay, coach, another week. I think they're excited that we're here finally to this week.
And finally, Coach, what are you going to take away from these past couple months? You get to be back in the facility around your players. I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of thinking when you were stuck at home during those couple months.
Yeah, I should have wrote a book. I should have been taking notes every day on really what happened for the day. Maybe I should start, game one. But there's so much happening that you can't even put it on a piece of paper. It's been wild day in and day out, and we're just going to take it one day at a time. I don't want to look back on what it was. I'm looking at what it's going to be this week, because it could still get wild, and I'm sure it's going to be a wild season.
Well, you should write the book. I would definitely read it.
Beautiful. I'll do that in my spare time.
Please do. Yeah, you have so much free time, so you can get started on that. We'll proofread it for you on the side.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.
You're my editor.
I will. I got you. Thank you, Coach. Best of luck this Saturday. And thanks to you for watching this edition of Pitt Beyond the Script.
Let's have a lot of enthusiasm out here, and let's do the details right, guys. It's all about the details. You know what to do, so put it together. It is game day. All right, let's go. ACC champs on 3. 1, 2, 3. ACC champs.